Hi and welcome to part 4, and that's the final part of my 40k subscribers party. My name is Luise Heinzel and I'm always really happy when you watch my videos. But today is a special day, and today I'm even more happy that you clicked to this video, because today I have something that, it looks a little bit like I haven't cleaned my desk. I had to put something over this thing so that I don't destroy my own surprise for you. I will remove that in a second, but I have prepared something for you that you have waited for a very long time. You have been so patient, and at the same time you have written so many messages and requests for what I have here on my desk today that I nearly can't believe that. So I want to show you a new junk journal kit that I have created for you. I'm really excited about this because this is something really special, not only for me, but it has to do with our community and all of the amazing people out there, and it has to do with you. So what are we going to do in this video today? First, I want to show you this junk journal kit. And after that, I want to create 2 journaling cards with the help of this junk journal kit. Please don't run away if you don't have a printer or if you don't like this set. You can also do this idea with any other paper. Yeah, that doesn't have to be a digital paper. It doesn't have to be this paper. The idea works with any paper in this world. And after that, so in the end of the video, we are also going to find out who has won the prizes from my giveaways that I have run during this 40k party. So if you want to know if you have won one of the prizes, you can find that in the end of this video. Exciting thing. And if you perhaps are new here and you think, what the heck is she talking about? I have no idea. Then of course you can also find the links to the other 3 videos that are belonging to this party video series. You can find the links down below in the description box so that you can watch those videos as well. The giveaways are closed. Because, we are going to find out who has won the prizes today, but perhaps you want to watch the other videos as well, and perhaps you want to soak some inspiration or steal some ideas to turn them into your own for your own projects. Before I start and before I take this towel off from my paper here, I want to thank you very much for your absolutely kind and sweet words below my past video. If you have watched the last video, you know I had a really hard time to film the other video because I was not so well. I had the flu and I'm still not totally well. But the last video was really hard to do for me. It was really a challenge. And when I did that and when I recorded the video, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do it. I want to go to my bed and I can't do that. And, when I film the video, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't see your reaction right in the moment when I film the video. And because of that, it was just so heartwarming to see all of your reactions. You have written so many messages and so many kind words. So thank you very much for that. So today, I have made myself a tea. That is a little bit weird, but I'm trying to get through this video without any strange noises in my voice so that you can enjoy the video and that it's not such a catastrophe like the last time. So I'm hoping that this tea will help. And I also want to thank you for your words that you have left below the last video, and of course for all of your other words, yeah. But the last video was a special one. I have talked about this topic, Temu and AliExpress and shopping on those platforms. And to be honest, I haven't expected such a reaction from you. So many have written that you didn't know that there are stolen designs that are sold on Temu and AliExpress. And you said, yeah, like, thank you that I have talked about that and that I told you that. And that was really surprising for me on the one hand. And I also want to thank you for all of your reactions and that you said you want to stop buying on those platforms. And that you also said that you want to spread this information. There have been some people who already made videos about that topic, and I'm really thankful for that because, as I said in the last video, I think it's a topic that has to be talked about, and those people have to be stopped. And even if I think that it's hard, or I would say impossible, to stop those people, I think it's really good when we talk about that and when we in our community are like starting to do the right things. And if there are people who haven't known about this topic before, then it's really good when they get the knowledge about that and when they say, okay, we stop because now we have the knowledge and we know what is happening there. And that's the reason why we don't buy there anymore. And I really, really appreciate all of your videos that you have thrown on YouTube after my other video, where you also told your viewers about this topic. And that makes that this whole thing can spread over the community even more, and that is something that I really appreciate and where I'm really, really thankful, and that's why, I wanted to mention that here as well. But now, let's talk about this. This junk journal kit is called the Dream Team. And I have thought about a name for this kit for a really long time, and then suddenly, do you know those moments where you suddenly think about something and then that is the answer and that is the right name and that brings everything together? That was such a moment where I came to the idea to call this the Dream Team. And I want to talk about why this paper is special to me. And that also has something to do with you, because it's not only that you are special to me, but this whole thing has to do with each and everyone out there and with our community. And sometimes I feel like a broken record when I say that, but I am 100% sure that there's no other community out there which is so amazing like the junk journal community. And I'm so glad and so happy, and I will be forever thankful that I'm allowed to be part of this community. And that's why this junk journal kit is existing. When I take this off now, then some of you might at first glance see what this is. You have asked for such a long time, and for all of you, that I do this, and for all of you who have no idea what I'm talking about here, I want to explain the background of this paper really quickly. So let me take this off. So perhaps you know him, and perhaps when I flip through this, then you know the other characters in this set as well. A few months ago, Ranger has released their Back from the Vault collection of distress paints. What the heck is that? Perhaps you might know the Distress Paint by Ranger. That's an acrylic paint with really cool features. And a few years ago, Ranger had retired some of the colors, because this is of course available in a lot of different colors. And they had retired some of the colors to make some space for new and other distress products. That was a reason to cry. And now we have a reason to be happy, because they brought back some of the colors. So that's why they called it Back from the Vault collection. So 20 colors of the distress paint came back a few months ago. And this thing with the distress paints happened shortly after Tim has invited me to become a maker in his team. And for that reason, this is it's just a special thing for me personally. It is a really nice memory. These paints will always be something really special, because it was like the starting point for this adventure in his team as a maker. And when I got those paints, I wanted to do something on my Instagram to show my emotion behind those paints and especially behind the colors. Because you know that the distress products always have those really gorgeous names. For example, this is called brushed corduroy. This is called crushed olive. That's this color here. And from the very beginning, when I started to work with distress products and Ranger products, I was fascinated by those names. And those names always gave me so many pictures in front of my inner eye, or is that an English word? I'm hoping. So many associations came across with those color names and still come across with those color names, that I decided that I want to make a special picture series on Instagram. So I have created 20 pictures that showcase my idea of the color in form of a little character. So this, for example, is crushed olive. And when you see this and you follow me on Instagram, you will immediately know what this is. And that there will come 19 more of these little characters. And when I posted those pictures on Instagram, you have been so thrilled. And you have asked me if I can turn those pictures into a digital paper. And that's what this is. So this, by the way, is Lucky Clover, this little guy. And this, to be honest, was a challenge because my original pictures have been squares for Instagram, of course. On Instagram, you post your photos in a square format. And it was really, really hard to make this paper, but it was so much fun. And I'm so hoping that you will like this collection as much as I do, and that you have as much fun with these papers as I had when I created this. This is old paper, this little guy here. And perhaps you might think, why the heck is this called the Dream Team? And what has this to do with me? With you, I mean, yeah? So let me try to explain that. This is pine needles. The name for this junk journal kit, the Dream Team, has several different reasons which come all together somehow and build this whole thing. So let me talk about the different reasons. When I first came in contact with distress mediums, with Ranger mediums, I was totally fascinated about the possibilities that you have with those mediums. Of course, I haven't had all of the mediums when I started my junk journal journey. I started with a few mediums, and then my collection has grown over the years. And I, in the meantime, to be honest, have, I would say, a little addiction and a really big collection of distress mediums. And I'm so happy that I found those mediums, because I think that they are so versatile and that you can do so many things, that the mediums themselves, with their different features, are a dream team by itself. This is pumice stone. I want to have him in my craft room, sitting next to me when I'm crafting and talking to me. And I want to pet him the whole time. He's just so cute. Yeah, and I also think that especially in combination with junk journaling, the distress mediums are a dream team in combination with junk journaling. Yeah, so I mean junk journaling and Ranger, junk journaling and distress mediums. That's a dream team for me, because when we make a junk journal, we have so many different kinds of papers, so many different materials, and with the Ranger products, we can find the perfect product for each material. So, for example, if you make a junk journal and you jump into your trash can and collect some junk, yeah? Let's imagine that. This is ripe persimmon. Then you end up with several different materials that also have different surfaces, of course. Imagine we are using junk like packaging paper, or, for example, food packaging, cereal boxes, or really thin paper from when you buy shoes, for example, you get this like tissue paper. That all is what makes junk journaling so interesting, but that makes it into a challenge as well if you want to create something on those different surfaces. And I have the opinion that you need the right medium to be able to create something on so different surfaces. And for me, Ranger is giving us everything that we need for making a junk journal with so many different papers. And that's why Ranger and junk journaling for me is a dream team as well. This is spun sugar. And what I also want to mention is that I think that often when people ask, what is a junk journal and how do you make a junk journal? What do you need for making a junk journal? Many people think that you have to jump into your trash can and collect things from your trash can. For me, that is a little bit different, because junk for me is not only trash. Junk can also be something that is sold on a flea market, for example, from people who don't need that thing anymore. My channel is called Luise Heinzel Junk Journal Art. Yeah, it's not called Luise Heinzel Junk Journal. It's called Junk Journal Art because I like to include this little pinch of art journaling to my junk journals. I want to use junk journaling to bring my creative ideas into a journal. Doesn't have to be the same for you, but that's how it is for me. And with that, I need mediums that can handle different kinds of papers, different materials. And for that, Ranger for me is just perfect. This is Stormy Sky. He's so cute. Yeah, and perhaps you might ask, what the heck has this to do with you? Yeah, because this is a set that I made for you and especially for this party here. And when I created this, I sometimes asked myself, will this be finished before I will get retired? And then I thought, in combination with junk journaling, you probably can't get retired, because once you've started with junk journaling, you will probably be addicted until the end of your life. But I had the feeling that I will need the rest of my life to create this. And then suddenly it was finished. And then I found out why it took me so long and why I could finish it now. Because this junk journal kit wanted to be the star of this video and the star of my 40k party. And that's why it was waiting a little bit until it finally came to life completely. So what has this thing to do with you? And why are we, you, all of you out there, and I, a dream team as well? Why are we a dream team? To explain that, I have to talk about a thing that was really a challenge for me as well. So this is wild honey. And that is the thing that when I started my YouTube channel, I was not so sure what I want to do. And that's not only for the channel itself and for the content and the videos, but it was also for myself. I was not so sure where my junk journal journey would lead me. Yeah, and I'm not a fortune teller. Who can say that? When you start with something, I think it's normal that you don't see where you want to go or where this whole thing will lead you. This is dried marigold. And after a relatively short time, after I had started my channel, I found the Ranger mediums, I found Tim Holtz, and I found his products. And I have fallen in love. And then I found out that those products can help me to improve my skills and that they can help me to bring to life what is in my mind creatively. I found out that those products are really helpful for finding my own style, for example, and many other aspects of this like junk journaling thing. This is brushed corduroy. And there have been many people who said, oh, Louise, you use so many Tim Holtz products and you haven't done that in the past. And I want to say, that is not true. I have always used Tim Holtz products, but perhaps it seems that I use more of his products since I'm a maker for him. But from my perspective, I have always used his products because when I found them, I have fallen in love and I still love them, and I use them because I love them and I think that they are really high quality and that they bring me so much that I couldn't reach with other products and other mediums. That's the reason why I use those products, yeah? And of course, when you have a YouTube channel and you do something and then something like this maker invitation happens, then you have like a challenge in front of you, because I was not so sure. I mean, I will never forget the day when I got the message from him and he invited me. It was like my body made some noises that I have never heard from my body before, and that I will probably never hear in the future again. That was really crazy, in a positive way crazy, but I was like completely out of order. I will never forget that day. But that day also brought this challenge, because I have not the possibility to call each and everyone out there and ask, oh, would it be okay for you if I show this and this and that in the future on my channel? And of course, my content has changed a tiny little bit, because when I make a make for Tim, then I, of course, when I have the possibility, also make a video about that. And of course, then it's like Tim Holtz products in a really concentrated way on one project, yeah? And I'm really, really happy how you reacted to this whole thing. This is Blueprint Sketch. And this is Aged Mahogany. And that is something, yeah, I would like to write a love letter to each and everyone out there for your reaction, because your reaction was just priceless, and it still is. I think when you have a community on YouTube or somewhere else, then it's like, you know, the people know you, the people know what you do, and when you then suddenly change something, the people could think, oh, what is she doing? I'm not interested anymore. I'm running away. I don't want to watch the videos anymore. And of course, for a YouTube creator, that is the worst thing ever, yeah, which could happen. And I'm so happy that you are so supportive and that you have celebrated this whole thing with me so extremely. And that's why we are a dream team as well. Without your reaction and without your wonderful words and with everything you do, this whole thing wouldn't be the same for me. And next to the fact that this is Wilted Violet, that gave me something like a net. Do you know, in a circus, for example, when those, you know, I don't know the English word, when those people walk over these thin lines very high in the air, and there's a net below this thing, so that when they accidentally fall off from this line, that they won't fall to the ground. And you are like this net for me, because when I sit here and I talk about things or I create things, I'm doing this and I'm talking to myself and to my camera. And as I said, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't see how you will react to this whole thing. That's the one thing. This is Tattered Rose. And the other thing is, if I would, let's say I could see your reaction before you react. And let's say I could plan my videos and my whole content, my junk journal creations, everything. I could plan that so that you will like it. What would happen then? I think that then I wouldn't do those things anymore that I love. I only would do the things that you want to see. And that is a really big problem, because then I couldn't do this whole thing anymore. I could never sit here and do something that I don't like, or where I'm not satisfied with, where I not think, yeah, okay, that is good. I could never do that. And if I would do it only that you like me, then something would be totally wrong. Do you know what I mean? This is Gather Twigs. And I'm really, really appreciative that I can do what I love, and that you are watching my videos and you are supporting what I love. Do you know what I mean? And that is why this whole thing can work. And that is also a thing that I want to say. If you have a YouTube channel, and perhaps you have just started your YouTube channel, or you don't have a YouTube channel and you do your junk journals at home just for yourself, please have that in mind. Always do what you love. For yourself at home, that is of course really important. And if you want to have a YouTube channel and grow your YouTube channel, that is the secret. Do what you love, and then I think the chance is very high that the people who watch the videos will find their own joy. They don't always have to love what you do. I'm sure you think sometimes, oh, that is ugly what she's doing, but you can soak your inspiration and your ideas out of those videos anyway, and you can take something from those videos. And that sounds a little bit arrogant when I say that, but that is what you tell me and what you write below the videos. Yeah, that's just like a reflection, like a mirror, what I'm talking here, because that is what you have given me with your feedbacks in the comments. This is Festive Berries. This is so cute. This is just so cute. I want to sit here right next to her. This is just, it's just, I'm really proud that I could bring this to life, because, you know, when you have something in your mind and you have a picture in your mind, then, I mean, I often say it would be so good if I had a printer which I could plug into my head, and then it prints out what's there in my head. And and of course that's not possible, yeah, perhaps sometimes in the future, but it's actually not possible. But with this, I did exactly that. I printed out what was in my head, and that makes me somehow really proud, and I'm so hoping that you like this. So this is Rusty Hinge, and the cool thing is, when I posted this picture to Instagram, Tim has written, oh, that is me. And if you look at this closer, I think we can all agree. That is just so cool. And that is also a thing that I want to mention. Some of you have asked why some of these characters look sad. Not all of them. Where is Gather Twigs? Here. I think this was the picture where the most of you have asked that. Why does he look sad? And I think you have seen that a little bit differently than I did it, because these characters don't look sad, but they look distressed. Do you know what I mean? These are, of course, they are representing the colors of the distress paint. And of course, they need something that is distressed. And for some of them, it's the face that's distressed. And for some of them, it's, for example, the hair. Look at his hair. a little bit distressed, I would say, or the clothes are distressed, or the surrounding is distressed, and they are definitely not sad. So that was not my intention. So that's what I wanted to mention about your comments regarding to the faces. So these are the 20 pages with the 20 characters. And then there's a total of 5 background pages, which you could use to print to the back sides of these papers here. So I will show you those now. These are a little bit like neutral, so that you can balance this whole like party of colors a little bit. If you want to take this kit and make a journal out of that, I thought it would be good to have some more neutral colors to balance this whole thing, and to have the possibility to include your own color bridges, for example, to get a connection between the different colors, even if I think that these pages fit really well together, even if you do nothing. I have tried to get a connection with all of the things that are next to the characters, and when I had these on my table and I looked at all of them at the same time, I was like, whew, that fits really well together. I mean, you get a really colorful journal if you use every of these pages in one journal. Yeah, of course. It's like a color palette which has 20 different colors. Yeah, of course it would be a colorful journal, but at the same time I wanted to have something that is a little bit more neutral, and where you have the possibility to like play around with different color combinations, color bridges and such stuff. So you have 5 of these neutral background pages, you know, neutral with color to make this bridge. Yeah, and perhaps you think, hey, I only have 5 background pages, but I have 20 of the other pages. So I have made this that this kit is not too big and not too expensive in my shop. So I made only 5 background pages. But if you are bothered by like repeating pages, then of course you could also print other designs that are neutral or whatever you like to the back sides of the other pages there. Yeah, so you could do it just by printing the backgrounds several different times, then they would repeat, or just choose something totally different, or take the back side of your pages with the characters and just do your own thing on the back. I really enjoy having also white pages in a journal, so that you have the possibility, for example, for coffee dyeing or doodling or painting something where you need a white surface, or just journaling. Yeah, there's no need to cover each white spot in a journal. I really like to have white pages in a journal as well, but the possibilities are endless how you could do that. So then we have a few ephemera pages. Let's start with these pockets. You could use these little wings here of the pocket to make the pocket a little bit bigger, just by, you know, folding these brown things to the back and then glue them down. Then you can store a little bit thicker ephemera in here, or you could of course also cut it here and then glue it here on the edge of this, yeah, like a U, and just get rid of these if you don't like them. Yeah, I wanted to have this as versatile as possible, so you can decide how you want to cut these out. This is, on the one hand, an envelope, a journaling card, some labels and some tags, and a printer accident at the same time. So if you want to look here, I haven't realized that my printer made a fail print here. Of course, when you print this, and you are not such an idiot as I was when I printed this, this label would be the full size. Yeah, and also this would not be cut off. This was just an accident when I printed this. I just wanted to mention that it's not a mistake on the printable, but it's just, it was my own fault. So this is supposed to be an envelope, you know, just fold it here on the that is German, on the 4 lines here, fold everything to the other side, glue this and this and this. I mean, yeah, not completely, you know how to make an envelope. And then you have this here as the flap of the envelope. And then you could put this card in there that would fit into the envelope. It's made to fit in there. Or you could, of course, also use tinier things like, for example, these tags to put them into the envelope. And on this page, we have a little pocket thingy as well, which you can cut out and fold and then glue so that you have this little pocket. I have also included some paintbrushes here to, yeah, make this paint theme a little bit more intense. And that's also why these flowers look like painted and not like a photo. I wanted to have the connection to the pages with the characters, even if here aren't any characters and we like only have the paintbrushes here, but it's a connection if you know that the characters are the distress paints. Do you know what I mean? So then this here, you could cut it out and fold it like a little accordion card thingy, just by making a fold here and here and then fold it like an accordion. Or you could have, and then you would have this one piece that you can, you know, flip out. But you, of course, you could also just cut these cards here and use them as 3 separate cards. The same with these little tickets. You could make a ticket strip by leaving them together, or you can just cut them separately. And here we also have some neutral little cards that you can use to balance, you know, this whole color party. And here we have some more tuck spots, which you can also handle exactly the same like with the pockets. You can decide if you want to use these wings here or not, but I think you know that when you have used a printable before, that you can just get rid of these and use that just by gluing it here and here, or you can use the wings to have a little thicker storage possibility. Some tickets here also in neutral colors, you know, to balance this whole thing a little bit. So I hope you like this, and if you like it and if you watch this video right now, then I have a little surprise for you. You can get 40% off on this kit in my shop by using this code here. So just write that down if you are planning to purchase this kit. And at the end of your order, you can just take the code and put that into this little box, and then you get the 40% discount. I hope you like that. This is a little surprise from me to you, and a little thank you, of course, as well. And I'm really excited what will happen now and what I will see in the future made with this kit. I'm so excited to see your creations. You can't believe that. This is just so special for me. So perhaps you now understood why this is called the Dream Team. The Ranger Mediums themselves are a dream team for me. The Ranger Mediums in combination with junk journaling are a dream team as well. And you and your reaction to everything that I do and myself, that is a dream team as well. And I'm so happy to be part of this. And I'm so happy that you are part of that as well. And before I start creating my journaling cards, I want to tell you something that I realized actually several months ago, but I always forgot to talk about that or to tell you that, because that is just something really crazy. If you take one of your ink pads and you turn that around, and it's the same on each ink pad, then you can see where Ranger is. I mean, in which city. And the city is obviously called Tinton Falls. Now there comes the hardest part of this video, because this is a really nice thing when you know German. So let me explain that. If I say Tinton Falls in German, let's say I say Tinten. What does that mean? I try to translate that. If you say one ink, then it's eine Tinte. That is one of something. Two inks or several different inks would be Tinten in German, but it's written a little bit differently. Instead of this O here, there would be an E. But when you say it, it sounds the same. Tinten, I'm hoping that I say this word right, otherwise this makes no sense what I'm saying here. But I guess that it's said like this, Tinten. So that means in German, if I say the word and I ignore how it's written, this would mean inks. And false is false, yeah? I mean, not in German, but let's say false is false. But it's, but now think about waterfalls and ink falls, yeah? If there was a waterfall that had no water but ink, then it would be an ink fall, right? And in German, it would then be Tintenfalls, yeah? If I mean, in German, the word is Fall. So if you would say waterfall, you would say Wasserfall in German. So you would say Fall and not fall. But if you mix the languages and you read this, then Tintenfalls would mean that is something like a waterfall but with ink. Do you know what I mean? And that makes just perfect sense. This is, I mean, to me, I'm hoping that you got this, because this is just so cool. And you know, if you know me, that I don't believe in coincidences. And this is something that shows me, again, that there are no coincidences existing in this world, because this has to be exactly like it is, Tintenfalls. And you know, I make my videos in German and in English, and that's even more special if I mix the languages, that we have this picture. I mean, imagine a waterfall that is not just clear. I mean, a waterfall is a really gorgeous thing, yeah, don't get me wrong. But imagine a waterfall that has ink instead of water. Wouldn't that be just cool? And imagine a waterfall that has ink. I mean, an ink fall, a Tintenfall that has like a rainbow of colors. Wouldn't that be just amazing? And that is what I think, what comes to my mind when I hear this word Tintenfalls, because of this mixture of the languages. And that is, I always wanted to tell you that, but I always forgot. But now we have it. We have it. Of course, you could make yourself a whole junk journal out of this junk journal kit, the Dream Team. Because, you know, it's a junk journal kit. It has pages, it has background pages, it has ephemera, everything you need to either use it as it is and only the kit, or mix and match it with your own materials to make a whole junk journal. That's the purpose of a junk journal kit, yeah? But I want to do something different today. I want to create 2 journaling cards, because I got an idea from a video from Barbara at 49 Dragonflies. I made the mistake to watch one of her videos while I was already laying in my bed and I had the plan to sleep. It's not a good idea to watch craft videos when you need sleep, because when you then see something, in this case in Barbara's video, and you get an inspiration, then you want to immediately try that out, right? And then you can't sleep anymore and you have to stand up again and do the thing. So that's the reason for the journaling cards today, because I want to try out this idea that I got from her video. What has she done in the video? She had a photo of her mom. So I will show you a little portion of her video here in my video, so that you can get an idea what she has done if you have missed the video. And I will also link her video down below this video, of course, so that you can watch that. So she had this photo from her mom and she wanted to include a scrap by gluing that to the photo. And that scrap said journal, because she had used some die cuts to cut the word journal out from that scrap for something else, and there was actually a leftover, but she wanted to include that to the photo. And while she was deciding about the size of this scrap, because it was actually a little bit too big for the photo, I came to an idea that I want to try out today with my papers here, and that's of course possible with any other paper as well. Because I thought when she placed her scrap that said journal onto the photo, and she said that as well, it was too big and it was like a little bit not so one with the photo in the first moment. And she has found a solution to make that work for her photo. But in that moment, I thought, what if this scrap that says journal was not white, but what if that had the same color and the same picture actually, like the picture below where she has glued the scrap? And so I came to the idea to try something like that. So yeah, let's see if we can do that. I have chosen 2 pages from my junk journal kit, the Dream Team. Of course, you can do this with any other paper as well. I will talk about my thoughts and what you need and how you can also do that with other papers so that you, know what to grab if you want to try this out. So I have chosen this page with the Rusty Hinge character here. And of course, Forest Moss, because that is my absolutely favorite color. So I want to do this process like simultaneously on 2 different cards. I mean, I will make 2 cards at the same time so that we can compare the effect that we have and that we can see, for example, which colors match better, or perhaps we find some problems where we say, okay, with this color it works better or whatever. Let's see. So, of course, you don't have to do that. I just want to do this here. So also then I have 2 journaling cards. Yeah, that's always better than only 1. And what have I done? Let's start with Rusty Hinge, but it's the same for the Forest Moss page as well. I have printed my page from the kit on 2 different papers. I think you can see that at first glance that the colors here are very different, and that's only because of the paper. To make that really clear, my quality settings of my printer have been exactly the same for both of these prints. That the colors look so differently is just because it's different paper. What you can see on the left here is some matte photo paper, 110 GSM. So here you can see the colors are really vibrant and the contrast is like bam. Yeah, and this is a little heavier paper. This is 200 GSM, but this is copy paper, a little more like high quality copy paper. Yeah, not just normal copy paper, because I think, the higher the quality of the paper is, the better your print result gets. But it's copy paper and not photo paper, and that's why the colors here look, I would say, nearly vintage. I want to use both of these with the different look of the colors to reach this effect that I'm trying to reach here. Yeah, so if that makes sense. So if you want to do this as well and you want to have a printable that you want to use for the cards, then please just print that out on 2 different kinds of papers. If you want to use some, for example, scrapbooking paper or other paper from your stash, then you have to, perhaps, if you want to do it exactly like I'm doing it here, you have to prepare your paper a little bit. Imagine, and while I'm telling you that, I will show you the other prints so that you can compare that as well. So this is the photo paper and this is the copy paper. And here it's not as extreme as with the Rusty Hinge page, but you can see the difference. If you want to take a paper from your stash, just choose a piece which is big enough so that you can cut that in half, and then you can reach an effect like this here by, this looks like a little bit muted, a little bit more, how can I say that, a little bit nearly vintage, I would say, you could reach that with your scrapbooking paper just by putting a really, really thin layer of coffee or tea or something on that, yeah, with really much water, just a thin layer to make it just a little bit different than the other paper. That is not so extremely important, but I think that the effect that we want to reach here is better if the papers are a little bit different. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to decide which paper do I want to use for the die cutting, because I want to do the same as Barbara did, but on purpose, not just using a scrap, but cutting on purpose. So for that, I want to decide which of the papers I want to use for cutting. That can be a hard decision, and because of the fact that it is so hard, I will do two different versions here, yeah, so that you can compare what you like better, so that you don't have to sit down and try it out, so that you can see it in this video what you like better. So for the forest moss page, I will use this here as my card base. So this is the photo paper, and I will cut from this paper, which is the thick copy paper. So let's take this and put it aside for a while. And for the rusty hinge card, I will do it exactly the other way around, yeah? So I will cut from the photo paper and use the copy paper as the base. So then, of course, you have to choose a die cut or something similar that you want to use to cut out from your paper. Of course, you could use some scissors as well and cut some shapes or something like that. If you don't have die cuts, that would be a possibility as well. But I want to have some quotes on the card, and I want to make those quotes with two die cut sets that I have chosen here from my collection. This one here has the number 665925. And this has the number 665847. And both of these are by Zizix and Tim Holtz. I will also link these down below the video in case you want to check them out. And what I like about these sets is that all of those quotes are on these plates. So the letters are already lined up perfectly, so that you don't have any struggles and, you know, time wasting with lining the single letters up. You know, there are also alphabet dies that you could use for this, of course, and you could write your very own quotes. But I just like these because it's time saving. These quotes are really great, and you know, but you could use any other alphabet die with loose letters, of course, as well. So for this here, for the forest moss page, I want to use To the Moon and Back. And for this, let's see, I think Love with All Your Heart would be really nice for him. Focus on the Good would also be really nice, but I think, or we could also take Make Today Count. I think that looks also really, really amazing. And the letters here are a little bit bigger, and that's also something that I really like. So let's take this one. And now I'm doing the following thing, and that might seem a little bit weird at first glance. I will first decide where I want to cut from this page, and then later on I will cut the rest off so that I only have the cut part. But I think that this is easier. I mean, we are going to produce a scrap now. The same thing that Barbara had in her video. That might seem a little bit weird, but for better orientation and for the, how do you say that in English? Proportion of the card, it is easier, I think. And of course, when we have those leftovers, we can still use the rest of the paper for something else. I mean, we are junk journaler, yeah? So let's make sure that this is in the right direction. And I want to cut right through his face. And perhaps we can, I mean, here I can see this little hole from the A, and perhaps we can, the A must be somewhere here. Perhaps we can place it like so, so that the A of make is on his face. And you might think, what the heck shall that become in the end? She's cutting through the whole character here, yes. But when we have the scrap and we place that to the other piece of paper, we will get full image in the end, because we can see through the letters and through the holes of the cutting to the other paper. That will make sense in a second. So this here to the moon and back, where do we want to place that? And of course you can play around with the position of this. And I'm just thinking, I think it would look nice if the eyes are directly over the letters here. So I will try to cut this like so. So I will take this to my die cutting machine, and then I will cut this, and then I will come back and show you the result. So here we go. At first glance it looks a little bit weird, so I will place it here so that you can see the cutout. This looks a little bit weird, right? Because it's now cut through the actual image. And also here you could think, what the heck is this? Because his face has gone. But now we will turn this into something really cool. There are different options now. You could tear your scrap out from this, but of course you could also take your paper trimmer, and that is exactly what I am going to do here now. And I will just cut a rectangle which is a little bit bigger than the actual cutting, so that I still have, I mean the die cutting, so that I still have a little space around where I can sew with my sewing machine later. And now we are going to find the this is so cute, the position where this has to go. And of course it has to line up exactly with the paper below. And as you can hopefully see, this is already readable, obwohl, that is a German word, even if it's made from the same picture. You can already read this, but the contrast is not so extremely high yet. But what I'm trying to say is, you could of course glue this down or sew this down, or only distress the edges in a lighter color to make the frame here visible. Or if you have torn the edges, you could ink the edges or tear towards yourself so that the edges get white, so that this scrap is more visible. But I also like this invisible writing. With this, if you would glue it down exactly like it is, you would have a second layer which you can feel on just a printable paper. Yeah, so that is a really cool method in my eyes to make a printed paper like a little bit more textured, and how do you say that when you can touch something? Tactile, I think that is the word. And you would not lose the actual image that way. So that is the idea behind. So let's take this one and let's see how this looks here. And you can see, hopefully, this is different to the other one because the order of the papers is different. Here we have this more like vintage thing in the background, and this is way more vibrant, so that you also see it way more extremely than if it was the other way around. But both of them are not visible enough for me yet. So I want to try something. Let's start with this one. For this one, I want to add a little bit of Lost Shadow to this piece. Lost Shadow oxide ink, of course, otherwise we wouldn't see anything on here. I mean, if you would use the ink, then this wouldn't get lighter. But with the oxide ink, of course, that works. So I will go over this with Lost Shadow oxide ink. with nearly no pressure because, of course, I don't want to lose my image on this scrap, but I just want to make this a little bit lighter, but so that you can see the image through the ink later. This has now way more contrast, but look at this. I think this is totally cool because now we can read this this quote, "To the moon and back," but we can also see the face, even if this is so extremely in the background and even if we have the ink on top. I'm talking about the oxide ink, of course. It looks like she's looking through a little fog or something. That looks really, really cool, and I really like this. So now I will just take some glue and I will glue this down. So then we take this and we carefully bring that into the right position so that it lines up exactly with the image below. For that, it really helps if you have a glue which dries not too fast, so that you have a little bit of wiggle time, so that you can find exactly the right position for this. So then we can let this dry and think about this. If we take Lost Shadow on this piece, that wouldn't help much, because this here, this scrap, is now the photo paper, which already has this extremer contrast and the extremer colors. So I'm thinking if it makes sense to put a little bit of Lost Shadow to this paper. So I'm going to start here on the bottom so that I can see how much of this fog I get. That is so cool. I really like this. This is just cool, but I'm thinking if I want to do this even a little bit more extremely, I think I want to take a little bit of darker brown to ink the edges of this rectangle scrap. And for that I'm going to use ground espresso, because I think it looks also great when you can see this rectangle of the scrap as well. So let's ink this up. So I will also take my glue now and glue this down, and then I will go to my sewing machine and I will do two different things which are both optional. First of all, I will sew around this little guy here, so that is a little bit more visible in the end as well, and that we get with the sewing a little bit of interest, additional interest to this. As I said, this is optional. You could also imitate a faux stitching just with a black pen, for example, or just skip this step. I think I messed this up a little bit, but I think it still works. I think I still like it. I have a little problem here with this ear. I don't know what happened here, but it's not 100% exact, but I will go with this anyway, because, you know, I want to show you the effect of this. So I will first sew around these rectangles for both cards, and then I will decide for the size of the card. I will just cut that out from here and back that with a sturdier paper, and then I will sew around the whole card so that you then can see how this looks when it's finished. Look at this. Isn't this just cool? I'm so in love with this. And even if you have to look really close to be able to read this one, I am totally in love with this. Sometimes I think it's good when we have things in our junk journals where we have to look closer. And also for another person, yeah, if you make a junk journal and you think about another person who is looking at the journal, sometimes it's good that they have like a little challenge for the eye, for example, or for the brain or whatever, to explore things. Because when always everything is so easy and noticeable, is that a word? Noticeable? Yeah, I think that's a word. At first glance, that's just too easy, I think. Here you can read it way better at first glance because of the different order, yeah, and you can also compare this now. Really big difference, I would say. I prefer this, definitely, but this is interesting as well. And of course you can play around with different other mediums, like for example gilding wax, like I have done that here. And what I also find really fascinating is that you also can cut through the faces. And that was something that I wanted to find out with this method, if it's possible, if you have such a concrete image, like a character, a person, an animal or something like that, and you cut through this image. With this method, you have a cool effect, you have a cool texture, you have a quote, but you have still the image. I mean, isn't this just cool? So I have made this exactly the same like this. I mean, the order of the paper is here with the forest moss and the gather twigs. It's the same order. And I think these are my favorites. I don't know why, but I think these are my favorites. But as you can see, we have some splatters here. And of course, we need splatters here to make this project perfect. So let's take some white splatters. If I can find my brush. Here. Sometimes with this brush, I think this brush has days where it thinks it's already Easter because it's suddenly hidden somewhere, and I like an Easter egg, you understand, and I can't find it anymore. Oh, ooh, that is perfect. So let's do some here as well. Let's try to make like a little diagonal splattering here. Perhaps we can also, shall we splatter to this? Yes, only a little bit. And since I got the idea for this from Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, guess what we need to make this really, really perfect. Of course, I'm talking about golden splatters. That is perfect. Barbara, what do you think? Okay, so this can dry now. And while this is drying, I think it's time to find out who has won the prizes of my giveaways that I have run during my 40K party here. So I will clean this mess and then I will switch the camera so that we can find that out and that we can see if you perhaps have won something. Okay, so here we go. I've already chosen the right video here in my comment picker. So that is, of course, this one here, Junk Journal Tag Challenge. And I've also already put these words in here, masterboard and tags, so that this picker only picks from those comments that contain these words. And then we can see where the person has posted the tags. So the first tag, that is this one here, Embrace the Journey. Let's pick the first winner for that tag. Ah, this is so exciting. Oh. Authentic well-being. I have created my masterboard tags and posted the photo to Instagram. So we have a winner for this tag. So congratulations. Please, if you are seeing your name here, then please write me an email. My email address is down below this video in the description box, and please tell me your address so that I know where I have to send this tag. And I will quickly take my little note paper here and write your name down so that I, after the video, still know what was happening here. Okay, so the second tag, that is this one here, hold tight and pretend it's a plan. goes to Kelly Dean. I had fun creating my masterbot tags and posted a photo of them to Instagram. Congratulations, Kelly. Please write me an email. The email address is down below in the description box. And please let me know where I can send the tag. And just, tell me your address. Tag number 3, that is this one here. Be open to whatever comes next. Goes to Tammy Akin. Congratulations on 40k subscribers. Thank you very much. I love your videos and your journal art. I have created my masterboard tags and posted the photo to Instagram. Thanks for all of your hard work. Oh, that is really nice. Thank you so much, Tammy. So you are going to get the 3rd tag. Please write me an email. I'm feeling like a broken record, but please write me an email. I just want to make sure that everyone, knows what to do, because I don't want to keep those tags for myself. Yeah, so I want to make sure that everyone gets this information and that I get the emails so that I know where to send the tags. And tag number 4, that is this one here. When you know better, do better. Goes to Tonya, how to say this name? Fortier, I don't know. I have created my masterboard tags and posted in Instagram. Congratulations, Tonya. Please, the same for you. Write me an email with your address so that I know where to send the tag. And I would like to say congratulations to everyone, because your tags, everything I have seen on social media, have just blown me away. There have been so many people who even have written and recognized that for themselves, that you came out from your comfort zones, that you have created something that you have never done before, or where you thought that you can't do it and you could manage to do it. There have been so many positive words about your process of creating those tags that has just blown me away. And that is just so wonderful that we only have 4 winners with this tag challenge, yeah, but I think there are a lot of winners out there, because you could do that and you could say, I'm proud of myself because I made those 4 tags. And that is, of course, the main goal behind this challenge. I wanted to have something where we can create something together, even if we are not in the same place in this world. And I think we could reach this goal. I hope you see it the same. So that's that. And then I quickly have to switch this here and go to the other video for the second giveaway. So I will quickly do that here. So you can see here's the other video now, and here we can choose from all comments, because for the second giveaway you just had to leave a comment without any other additional requirements to enter the giveaway. Yeah, so I have chosen this, and we can pick the winners just by clicking this green button. So the first prize that we are going to find a winner for now is this journal here. I'm so sorry, this is too close. So this journal here goes to now it's really far away, let's bring it back. Mary's, why do you all have so difficult names? I don't try it. If you see your name, please just write me an email, okay? Congratulations, dear Louise. Your marriage metaphor is such a whimsical one, and you have put so much thought behind your giveaway prizes. Thank you. Oh, that is so cute. You understand and you feel what I feel, and that makes me really, really happy. That is really awesome. The second journal, that is this one here. So this journal goes to Junk Journal Diva. That is such a funny name. I mean, if you know this joke between Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and myself, yeah, when she says, oh, this paper is a diva, or this journal is a diva, or this medium is a diva, then you know which word I would choose for that. And that is one of the main differences between us. So it's really funny. This is really funny. I have been following you for quite some time, and I have learned so much watching your videos. Even when it isn't my cup of tea, I watched because you teach us how to do so many techniques. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. I would be so happy if I'm lucky enough to win any item in your giveaway, and to have a 40-minute video call would be amazing. So here is to hoping I win something so grand. So yeah, congratulations. You have won this journal. So then the third prize is a 40 euro coupon for my shop. So I can't show this coupon here in the video because you will get that digitally in an email. Yeah, so when I pick the winner for that prize in a second here, then you will write me an email, please, as well, and I will send you the code for this coupon via email to save some shipping costs, and all of those issues that can happen with shipping. We can avoid that just by sending this with an email. So who has won the 40 euro coupon? Stephanie P. Hi, Luise. You are so amazing because of your talent and heart. Oh, so wise too. Oh my goodness, how cute is this? I sometimes forget it's not just me watching you. You have inspired so many of us. And even though I don't really have much time to craft and don't really have a work area, that doesn't stop me from wanting to watch and listen to you. Oh. Much congratulations to you on all your milestones and achievements this year. If I should be so lucky to win one of your journals, I would cherish it to no end. Thank you and congratulations, Stephanie. Dear Stephanie, I hope that you like your coupon for my shop, even if you haven't won one of the journals. But yeah, I hope this is nice for you as well. Your comment is just so sweet. Thank you so much for that. And please just write me an email. I will write your name down here. Stephanie P. And the last prize, that's the 40 minutes video call. We will do it exactly the same like with this one. So we will pick another winner in a second. And then when you have won, you please send me an email so that we can choose a date and a time when we want to do this call. And also we can discuss the details about the platform that we are using for that, either if it's, Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So let's see who has won this video call. Ooh. So that means, Rosemary McLurry, I don't know. Another great video, Louise. Adding the quotes from John Cleese hopefully gives some people a clearer picture of creativity. One of the biggest battles is that people continually compare themselves to others rather than working to gain skills to improve themselves. Yeah, that's so true. Starting to create can be scary, but people need to take the first step, then the next, and be proud that they started. That is so true, Rosemary. I agree 100%. So you have won the video call. Please write me an email as well, and perhaps you can include which platform you would like, either Instagram, video call. That would be the nicest way for me. So if you have Instagram, that would be totally fine. But for example, Facebook would be also an opportunity. Or if you don't have those platforms, we can figure out another one. So please just write me an email and we can clarify those details. So congratulations to all of the winners, and to all of those who have not won in this giveaway, or in both of these giveaways, please don't be sad. I'm sure there will come more giveaways on my channel in the future. I will try my best to find some things for you that we can put into such a giveaway. And yeah, follow my channel, watch the videos, and then you will for sure get another chance with another giveaway in the future. So that's it for today. And yeah, I hope that you could get an inspiration from this, and I'm hoping that you like this and that you want to try something like this for your own projects. See you the next time. I wish you a very, very crafty day. Bye bye.